Good evening, and welcome to Direct Impact Broadcasting, the station of growth and transformation. Affiliate of Creative Broadcasting presents Leadership Tidbits with Coach T. Wilson, with your host, Tywauna Wilson, as she welcomes her guest to the studio.
Welcome to Leadership Tidbits with Coach T. Wilson. I am your host, Tywauna Wilson. A little bit about myself. I am your award-winning leadership maven, medical laboratory scientist by background, best-selling author, owner and chief leadership coach at Trendy Elite Coaching and Consulting Services, executive director with the John Maxwell team, Maxwell DISC certified consultant, Send Out Cards referral partner, and co-owner of Direct Impact Broadcasting radio station. Before we bring on my special guest, I want to highlight our May fundraising initiative in conjunction with the Alzheimer's Association's Longest Day campaign for those affected by Alzheimer's disease or dementia. I have a goal to raise $300 this month in honor of my grandmother, Juanita Hardy, by the end of May, who passed in June 2018 after a long battle with dementia. Donations can be made at bit.ly/TE Longest Day. I'm also excited to announce the Trendy Elite 8-Week Empowerment Tribe program launching later this month. So check our website and social media channels for more information about this program. I would like to say thank you to my media mentors, Ms. Ashley Little and Ms. Kimberly McLemore of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. So today's special VIP guest is my soar and fearless sister, Ms. Ashley Little. Ashley Little is a strong leader who has a passion for changing lives through education. She has been working in the for-profit education field for over 13 years. She has held many different leadership positions, and she loves being able to help students who might not have the opportunity to attend a four-year college continue to be successful. Next, Ms. Little is the founder and CEO of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, which encompasses her media, consulting work, writing, and empowerment speaking. In addition, she is a serial entrepreneur, investor, and two-time best-selling author who loves empowering women in many different walks of life to build confidence emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. She is the proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated and a member of Alpha Phi Omega. She is very involved in her community, organizations, and nonprofits. Currently, she is the co-founder of Sweetheart Scholars nonprofit organization, a 501c3, along with three other powerful women. This scholarship is given out annually to African-American females from her hometown of Wadesboro, North Carolina, who are attending a college to help with their expenses. Ms. Little believes it takes a village to raise a child and to never forget where you come from. Ms. Little is a strong believer in giving back to her community. She believes our young ladies need vision, direction, and strong mentorship. She is the co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP, which airs in over 167 countries, streamed live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope, broadcasting and media production company. This live entertainment platform is for new or existing radio shows, television shows, or other electronic media outlets to air content from a centralized source. All news, information, or music shared on this platform are solely the responsibility of the station radio owner. She is also the owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting Radio Station, the station of unlimited possibilities, and podcast radio TV host. Lastly, she is a board member and radio host for the Urban CEO Network. Ms. Little is a two-time best-selling author of Dear Fear, Volume 2, 18 Powerful Lessons of Living Your Best Life, On the Other Side of Fear, The Girlfriend Code, Volume 1, I Survived, and Hello Queen. She is a co-host for the Tammy Collins Marquee Radio Show, award-winning entrepreneur, reflection, contributor for the book North Carolina Girls Living in a Maryland World. Media for Black Women Hustle, sales, marketing, and event correspondent for Swagger Magazine, host of Creating Your Seat at the Table, host of Authors on the Rise, partner, visionary author of The Girlfriend Code, the Sorority Edition, along with the Girlfriend Collective, LLC, and lead author of the HBCU Experience, the North Carolina A&T State University Edition. She has been on many different podcasts, TV shows, magazines, and radio shows. Lastly, she has received awards such as Author of the Month, the Executive Citation of Anne Arundel County, Maryland Award, which was awarded by the county executive, Stuart L. Pittman, Top 28 Influential Business Pioneers for Kish Magazine, Dynasty of Dreamers, Kish Magazine, to name a few. Ms. Little received her undergrad degree in English from North Carolina A&T State University. Next, she received her master's degree in industrial organizational psychology. Ms. Little is a mover and shaker, and she continuously pushes herself to be better than she was yesterday. She gives God all credit for everything that has happened in her life. She has strong faith and determination to be great. She believes her only competition is herself. Her favorite scripture is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Hello, Miss Ashley Little. How are you doing this evening?
I am doing amazing. Thank you for inviting me to your show and to your platform tonight.
I am so excited to have you here today. I always give you props and kudos for being one of my media mentors, so I'm excited to have you actually here on the platform tonight, so thank you.
Yes.
So please tell the listeners about your leadership journey and how did you get to where you are today, where you are consistently creating your seat at the table.
Yes. So I've been in corporate America on 13 years now. I started my entrepreneurial journey, leadership journey, probably at a young age, probably when back in college, I had my own tutoring business. I kind of started that way, started my own tutoring business, and it kind of just went from there. And I got into network marketing, and I learned a lot of network marketing. And from there, I started, I became an author with Dear Fear, and it's just been going since then. And I've always, outside of my corporate profession, I've always had different things that I did on the side as well. So I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit and that entrepreneurial mindset, So I think it's just in my blood.
Wow, that is awesome because you have done so much in both the corporate space and in your entrepreneurial space that is just outstanding. So awesome.
Thank you.
So Ashley, as leaders, we always hear about networking and building relationships. So as a corporate professional and entrepreneur, what networking strategies have you adopted that allows you to be successful in both spaces? And we know that they are different.
Yes. So the key thing is building genuine relationships. I think that people miss that part because, it's good to network, but the key thing is building those genuine relationships, not only when you're going out to meet people or, when you first meet someone, you want to follow up with them and start building a relationship with them. And you want to make sure that the relationships are reciprocal relationships, right? So I think that's the key thing that has helped me continue to be successful in corporate America and in entrepreneurship is building those reciprocal, genuine relationships because those relationships are more valuable than money. So that's what I would say to anyone is that is a major key is making sure that you build those relationships.
And what about strategies? Because I know for me, being in corporate, being in healthcare, and then branching out on the entrepreneurial side, it was different. It was different networking and building those relationships and figuring out, how to make all of that work. What would you say to somebody who's like getting into this and really don't even know where to start?
Well, what I would tell them to do is definitely invest in mentors and coaches, right? You want to have a good mentor and a good coach, right? But you want to have coaches that are where you want to be. And you want to have one for different areas in your life. You don't want to have multiple ones for the same thing. You want to have a coach for different areas in your life. And, of course, you want to have a mentor, somebody that you can confide in that can help you get to that next level. So all those things are so important when you are trying to branch out, and switch from corporate America to entrepreneurship. Well, I'm still in corporate America right now, and I'm doing entrepreneurship. But, the mindset, I guess the question that you're asking about the mindset of, I guess, leaving corporate when you're an entrepreneur. I mean, what I would tell anybody is take what you learned in corporate America and utilize that into your entrepreneurship. So basically, being in corporate America is not a bad thing. So take what you learned at the table in corporate America and learn how they make their millions of dollars, and then go home and build your business.
Right.
So I would just say utilize it, and, utilize your time in corporate America and learn while you're at the table and learn how they do it.
Right. That makes awesome sense. That makes great sense of being able to utilize both strategies. So that's great information, because you're right. I mean, you need to know how to be in the boardroom and as the young people say, slay in the boardroom, but still being able to network and promote yourself as an entrepreneur or your business, which you may not have that corporate backing or that marketing of them pushing the organization. So I love it. Coaches and mentors. Yes. What skills and qualities do you possess that you think have been most important for you of being successful in all of these endeavors? You're into writing, you're into speaking, you're into media, you're into for-profit education. Like what skills and qualities do you feel have been most beneficial for you?
Well, what I would say would be definitely, I'm a big collaborator, so I believe in collaboration. And I believe that there's room for all of us to win. So that's definitely one of the strategies that I've always taken with me with everything I've done, because I believe that a successful leader is successful when they're reaching back and pulling forward, right? So collaboration is definitely one of them. And, of course, continuing to build reciprocal relationships, because we can build relationships, but you got to make sure they're reciprocal too. So that would be number two. And then it's pretty much, being a good communicator, letting people know their expectations, vice versa, of them and of you as well. So those would be the three things that I would say that have helped me continue to be successful in many different areas as I continue to grow, because, I mean, we all have, we all make our mistakes, and that comes with the process. But those would be some of the things that I would say that have helped me along the way. But definitely the key would be, collaboration. Collaboration is so powerful. And what I always tell people is your destiny is tied to your connections, right? So it's important that we collaborate, because you can't do it all by yourself. So that's really the key thing that I'm really a big advocate of, is collaborating. Of course, you want to do your research and make sure it's the right person, and make sure that both people are mutually understanding what you all are there for. But that's definitely key to getting to the next level.
Awesome. That's great information. Especially in regards to collaboration. All of those were great tidbits of knowledge. So, listener audience, I hope that you got those tidbits that Ashley shared with us. So when you talk about collaborations and we think about it, in the entrepreneurial space, what does those collaborations look like? What does successful collaborations even look like? If I'm somebody that's new, that's thinking about, okay, I want to collaborate with somebody, but what does those projects even look like, or what does that look like?
So when you want to collaborate with somebody, you want to both have a a meeting or, have a conversation about what you all want to do, right? But you want to make sure both people are invested in the project that you're working on. Because I've worked on many, and I'm thankful and blessed to have been working with some great people, Dr. Marquita Blaze, Dr. Sharon Porter. I've worked with you, a lot of other people, Jessica Mosley. I've worked with a lot of great people who believe in the power of reciprocal relationships, right? So you want to make sure that the person that you're working with, you all are on the same page, you're on the same wavelength, and it's a mutual understanding that what both of you all are bringing to the table, and also knowing the roles that you all are bringing to the table and knowing the expectations from both people, right? Because both people have to be invested in order for you to get the results that you want. But then you also want to make sure that person is not for self, that they're not selfish. You want to make sure that they believe in that we all can win too. So that mindset plays a part too. So once you find all of that out, then you execute. You execute and make sure both people are putting in their 150% to make the project get, whatever the project is going to be. Like right now, I'm working on 2 amazing projects. I'm a visionary author and partner with the Girlfriend Code Collective Sorority Edition. You're part of that. And my project manager, my partner, Dr. Marquita Blaze, we have really we're on the same wavelength. We're on the same path with making sure that we launch the book. It's coming out actually next month with this movement that we're doing with the Girlfriend Code. But it all started with us being, on the same understanding of what we wanted out the project and where we want to go, right? And then you pick your team from there of, our authors, and we show the vision, and you plan from there. And like the other project I'm working on with Dr. Sharon Porter, with leading the North Carolina A&T State University edition, just putting the work in there, building it, and then executing from there. So it all starts with just making sure that everybody understands the mission, everybody understands the goal, the end result, and just knowing each other's roles and their expectations in the collaboration.
Awesome. That is great information. And those book collaborations have been very powerful. And we'll talk about some of your work, because you have had numerous book collaborations that have been successful and best-selling. And, I know I get this question, so maybe, you may get it too, about, I might want to do my own book, or what's versus me doing my own versus being in a collaboration. Sometimes people don't understand the strength of a collaboration with the people that's involved with the project, with the reach of the project. Can you talk a little bit about that so that our listeners who are thinking about getting into that author space, and maybe hesitant about some of these book collaborations and really understanding the value of that? Can you talk just a little bit about, the people that's in it even makes the book even more powerful?
Exactly. You just stated it. The power of the collaboration in general is powerful. But anthology projects versus, you and your solo book, and there's nothing wrong with the solo book. I, commend everybody that has done one. But if you want to continue to build your network and build your brand, collaboration projects are so great, right? To be able to get that exposure and be able to collaborate with other people and be able to, utilize each other's networks, right? So those are some of the benefits of collaboration. And plus, it gives you that movement and that power to learn how to collaborate if you don't know how to collaborate, right? Because you have no choice when you're in a collaboration project, because everybody has to work together in order for the project to work. So those are some of the benefits that I would say, and I love collaboration projects because we all have this goal together, and we're all winning together, right? So that's why I love that. And then when you go out to branch out to do your own book, you will already have built your network. You will be built new relationships, and it actually will help you even more because you've already built your pipeline. You've built your network. You've built, the relationships that you need in order for your book, your solo book, to be successful. So that's another thing from a collaboration project. If you go from collaboration and then decide to do your own book. But if you start out doing your own book first, that's fine too, and then join a collaboration. But I would say I would recommend that everybody do at least one collaboration and get the experience because it's so powerful. And I'm just so thankful that I've been blessed to be in some powerful women, some very powerful people. And it has really changed my life in so many different ways, because everybody's learning from each other, and everybody's always remaining a student. Well, if you always remain a student, you'll learn so much. You'll learn so much because we don't know everything, and we have to learn to know that so we can continue to get there, because we can't get to the next level if we're not open to learning from each other and learning that everybody can bring something to the table.
I love it. That is great information. I couldn't agree with you more. If it wasn't for the power of the collaboration, I would have never met you. And so I'm thankful for being in a collaboration and had the opportunity to be with you on several since. But if it wasn't for that collaboration and we live states apart, I would have never even met you. So that just speaks to the power of them.
And I would like to give Author Kimberly McLemore a shout-out as well, because she's my partner with Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP, collaboration from there. We created a network. So it's a lot of power in those collaborations with the right people.
Right, and they just go on. You can tell when a partnership and collaboration is awesome because it goes on and it continues to build. From you all of your vision and your great work, I and my husband was able to start our radio station, Direct Impact, and we have even brought somebody on Jerisha Moore, who's able to carry out her vision to her respective audience so that they can continue to be empowered. So that just speaks to what you all's vision has done and continue to do. So thank you for that.
You are welcome, because that's what it's all about. It's all about reaching back and pulling forward. You're not successful unless you're helping somebody else get there.
Awesome. So it's important because we talk to leaders at all different stages of life, and it's important for our next generation of leaders to not only hear our successes, but also to hear about some of our mistakes. Can you share with the listeners one of your biggest mistakes and the learning lesson that you actually gained from that?
So one of my biggest mistakes, I would say, I would call it a lesson, is just you can't put your destiny in somebody else's hand, right? So you can't, I guess, with some mistakes I've made, just having higher expectations for others as I do myself. And, everybody has their level of, their loyalty and their expectations for themselves, right? So I've often had to learn that, nobody's going to work harder for your dream than you, right? So you can't leave your destiny or your dream in someone else's hands. So that's what be one of the mistakes I've made in the past, and I had to learn that. So regardless of whatever happens with what I do in life, through my journey to getting to where I got to go, if I'm doing a collaboration or I'm with somebody of investing in something and they're not putting their work in or doing their part, I'm going to still go forward and do what I have to do, because my destiny, we're in control of how that's going to go, right, as far as putting the work in and making sure that we do what we have to do to get to the next level. So it's just not, pretty much giving your dream to somebody else, and not having higher expectations for somebody else than you do for yourself, especially when it's your dream. You can't expect somebody to work harder for your dream than you do. So that would be something that I would say that definitely had to learn in many different ways, because it comes in many forms.
That's good. That's a really good bit of information, very good knowledge that you gave people, because I think about that from both the corporate side and both the entrepreneur side. And on the corporate side, it happens more often than not where somebody is waiting for their manager to help them get their next promotion, or they're waiting for somebody to move them to the next level. So that is great. Don't put your destiny into somebody else's hand. No one will work harder for your dream than you do. I love that. That's great information for our next generation of leaders. I know that you do a lot of work in the community, and I know that Talk Radio and TV Network LLP have interns, so you all are giving back and reaching forward and really helping our next generation of young leaders. And so what tidbits are you giving your interns as they, come and learn what you do and what some of your team does for the summer?
Well, one of my interns is actually listening now, so I'm going to say Sarah's listening on now. I had to listen to Shadow tonight. But what we're doing right now, because we believe in reaching back and pulling forward, as you stated, and they're actually being able to shadow us. They're being able to co-host with us and actually eventually host. Some of them are learning the engineering side of the media network. I've actually connected them with some of my other partners outside of my network to do blogging, and they'll be blogging for us too as well. But I've actually connected them with other producers. I've connected them with other magazines and other companies to get their blogging experience down, and any other thing that they've told me that they're interested in. I've made those connections for my interns. Some of them have started in May, and then we have a lot that start next month in June. So I'm very excited to be able to reach back and pull forward to help our younger generation get to the next level. I even have a high school student, because I'm the co-founder of Sweetheart Scholars, and I'm going back to North Carolina in 2 weeks to send 4 more African-American girls to college. And what I'm going to do there is I'm actually going to give one of those high school students who's going to go to Winston State in the fall, and she's majoring in broadcast media, and I'm going to give her internship as well with us to come on this summer as well. So I'm all about just going back, me and Kim both, reaching back and pulling forward to help our younger generation, to give them what we didn't have, right? Because we want to make sure they're prepared when they get out there into the world. We're going to help them with their bios. We want to help them with their resumes to make sure that they're prepared, because, a lot of us didn't get that. So we want to make sure that they're getting that so they'll know what they need when they step out and do this, because I wish I would have knew some of the stuff that they're learning now when I was in college, So it's just all about just reaching back and building them up and helping them. And I know you're actually having some interns yourself that you're going to be doing with blogging and things like that as well. So we're all doing it and reaching back and helping our School of Tennessee State. And then we're going to expand out to other colleges, too, to offer more internships. But Tennessee State is our first one that we have interns from this summer. And as I said, I'm going to take a high school student on as well that's graduating, and she's going to Winston State in the fall. But she will be coming on as well, one of my Sweetheart Scholars recipients that I will be awarding in 2 weeks.
That is awesome. That you are really doing, and you and your team, you, Kim, and everybody that you're around. I like that energy that you all have to really make sure that you are helping others. You are truly letting people stand on your shoulders to get to where they need to be. I had the pleasure of talking with one of your interns, Miss Sarah, and she is on fire with the things that she wants to do. When you hear that energy and that passion that these young people are bringing and their excitement about learning and being a good student, it makes you say, yeah, I tell you everything I need to know, everything you need to know. I'll share it all.
Yes. Yes, they're hungry. They're so hungry, and I love that.
It's so refreshing to hear and to see, but even with all of that, what I really love about some of the things that you're doing is that it didn't matter what your platform was. It didn't matter if it was in the corporate space. It didn't matter if it was in the entrepreneur space. You are creating opportunities for people by using what you have, using your resources, using your network. And sometimes as leaders, as business owners, as supervisors, it's like, well, I can't do this because I'm not here or I don't have this. And you're always creating seats at the table for other people by just utilizing what you have. And I think if more of us leaders did that, then the next generation would be able to excel and thrive and really walk into their destiny like we know that they can.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you are a 2-time best-selling author. Go ahead. Dear Fear. That's big. That is a big deal.
Thank you.
So, yeah, you got Dear Fear, Volume 2, 18 Powerful Lessons of Living Your Best Life. On the Other Side of Fear, you got The Girlfriend Code, Volume 1. You got I Survived. You got Hello Queen. You got other projects that you talked about tonight. Can you tell the listener audience, how did you even get started writing books, and how has it helped you on your leadership journey?
Well, I started out writing book with the project with you, with Dear Fear, right? So I got into the project with Tywauna, who's the visionary author of Dear Fear, Volume 2, 18 Powerful Lessons of Living Your Best Life Outside of Fear. I've been following her for a long time, and then I finally joined the Dear Fear movement, and it really just started from there. I mean, I knew I had a story, but, it was time to tell it, So I wanted to be able to share my some of the different things that I went through in corporate America. That was in the Dear Fear book, corporate America, and just in general in life in that book. And the name of my chapter in that book was Dear Fear, You Can't Have My Power. So it really all just started from there when I started writing, a little bit about, my background in college. My major was English for undergrad, and, of course, for my master's is IO. But I've always been a writer, but I knew I had a story. So when I joined the Dear Fear movement, it really just all started from there as far as writing books.
Nice. And how has it helped you on your leadership journey? It's looked like it's created a lot of avenues for you to be able to go on by just having that interest and not being afraid to even share your story that first time.
Yes, it created a lot of different opportunities. Being able to share my story, and what was so touching when I first shared my story and, did Dear Fear, I had reviews from men and women all over the world, that could relate to my story, that talked about my story and how it changed their lives, right? Just going through different things that I talked about in my story. So it has really helped me tremendously with that, and it's really awesome to know that my story has helped somebody, right? Because that was my thing. If I could just change one life, I was going to be fine, right? But I have come to see, and I'm still getting reviews from the book. People are still buying Dear Fear today. They're still giving me reviews on it. So it's been an amazing journey, and I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful that I could be able to help somebody else not go through some of the things that I went through. And some of the things that I talked about in Dear Fear was going through discrimination. As a black woman in executive level positions in corporate America, that was one thing I talked about. I talked about toxic relationships. I talked about many different things in that book. And it opened up so many different doors, just being able to share my story with people that were actually going through some of that right now, or, and it actually was able to help people not go down that. If they were able to see it and prevent it, it helped them too. So I'm just thankful for the book, thankful to be able to share my story. And from that story, it says, Dear Fear, You Can't Have My Power. A lot of things were birthed from that.
Awesome. Was it difficult to get started? Because I talk to people all the time, and they say, well, yeah, I would like to tell my story. I would like to get it wrote down. I would like to be published. But that fear of even writing a chapter, that fear of getting it on paper or not even knowing where to start, it sometimes gets people to where they're like, I don't know if I can do this or not. Did you have the fear of even getting started with writing it down, or how did you come through that of even really being able to write down your story?
Well, I didn't have the fear of getting started. It was more so because I am a very private person, so it was more so being vulnerable, right, and being able to share some things that I didn't tell anybody. So in that book, I shared it was a release for me because I shared a lot of things that nobody knew. Right? So that was, at first it was a fear. It's like, okay, I'm getting ready to be vulnerable and people are going to be able to see inside of my life and things I've never shared before. But after going through the process that we went through with Dear Fear and then launching, I was fine. But yes, at first it was really scary. But at the end of the day, that's part of the process. And we have to realize that we have to do things afraid and just do it. And I think a lot of people sit on their dreams because they're scared to take that next step, to take that jump, because they're scared of rejection or they're scared of failure. But it's not failure, it's a lesson, and it's part of the process. So we got to always remember that the process is the most important part, and we have to learn to endure that, because if we don't endure the process, we can't get to the next level. So we have to always remember that. And when we're going through these different things and we're scared to take these different risks, we got to do it, because being uncomfortable is good. Because if we're not, then we're not growing. So the next time, for any listener that may feel uncomfortable or they're scared to do it, that's when you should do it, because there's something on the other side of that. But if you stop and you don't, you could miss your next level or your destiny because of that. So that's what I would tell everybody. One thing about me, I've always been a risk taker, and I'm not afraid to jump. I would jump, okay? But I will say that about me, because I know that you got to do that in order to get to the next level. Because, I've not always liked being uncomfortable, though. I will tell you that, because it doesn't feel good. But I had to learn to embrace that, because it's necessary.
Right. That's great. That's the powerful information that nothing ever grows in the comfort zone. So at some point, we all have to jump if we want to move to the next level. So that's great information. Thank you, Ashley. So you are the co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network LLP, the owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting Radio Station, co-host for the Tammy Collins Marquee Radio Show, board member and radio host for the Urban CEO Network. How did you even get introduced to media, and what role has having the coaches or mentors play in your success in being in this space? How did you transition from education, and now you are on radio, magazines? You're doing it in media.
Well, I'm first going to give, like I said before, give God the credit first. I will say, when I launched my book last year, my first book with Dear Fear, I was on Tammy's show. She interviewed me back in May. And that's why I tell people it's power in relationships, it's power in building relationships, and it's power in connections, right? So I was on her. She gave me a chance. Was she the first person? Yes, she was the first one that put me on her show. And we talked about the book and all of that. And then maybe a couple of weeks later, I got a message from her about, coming on and, co-hosting. So we actually made a relationship from there. And really, Tammy was a big part. Her and John Schamberger was a big part of, coaching me in the media industry and mentoring me in the media industry. Of course, I've always was a speaker and was, talking and doing different things before that. I always had a platform, but they really took me under their wing to learn the media. And I'm going to tell you, last year, I didn't tell anybody when I was, I'm learning this, when I was being mentored by them. Some people knew I was co-hosting, but some people didn't, because it wasn't something that I had to announce, because I believe in moving in silence. Because when you're in that season of learning and you're in that season of, making sure that you're, building to get to that next level, you got to be focused. And so her and John Schamberger mentored me majority of last year in the media industry, to learn the different ins and outs of it, and this co-hosting and being able to be on the shows with so many different people, celebrities, high-profile people. And I even, brought guests on the show myself to interview. So it has been a great journey, and I'm thankful for them, helping me in the media industry, and they continue to help me. And I've had so many awesome mentors and coaches in the industry. I mean, Dr. Marquita Blaze was another one. She gave me a chance, put me on her show. Dr. Sharon Porter. So many more people that I probably have left out. I don't want to leave anybody out, because I appreciate everybody that has had a helping hand. Jessica Mosley, in a different in my process with the media industry. So I'm so thankful that I was blessed with the connections and people that that believe in reaching back and pulling forward. So.
That's awesome. Kudos to all of your mentors and coaches that created that platform for you. So what kind of advice would you give for somebody who's listening in today and they would like to get into media and use this platform as their tool to get out there purposeful message, what would you tell them? How would you tell them to, maybe get started, or, how would you tell them to try and enter this space?
What I would tell them to do is get started. That's the first thing. Get started. Get started. Go ahead and start executing. And you don't be afraid to make mistakes, right? We're all going to make them, right? But that's how we learn our lessons from those. And then, invest in some mentors, invest in some coaches, to help you along the way. But even if you don't, if you don't have that, maybe in your budget yet, then just do it, and learn and be okay if you make a mistake. That's the main thing. Because I think a lot of people don't get started because they're afraid, and they're afraid they're going to mess up, or they're going to make a mistake. But that's part of it. I don't know one successful person that hasn't failed or made mistakes, right? So it's just getting started would be what I would tell anybody. Just do it and stop sitting on your dreams. And because at the end of the day, everything that you go through is preparing you for that next level. So you just have to embrace that and just get out there and jump. Just jump. So,
great.
But take calculated risk. Let me say that. Calculated risk. Calculated risk.
Great information. And what would you say for people who maybe, they have a story to tell, and maybe they're interested in just like you are tonight, serving as a guest on somebody's show, to even, maybe they may have a story just like you. They serve as a guest and it turns into something further. How would you suggest that they try and even get on somebody else's platform to get started?
Well, when you're approaching someone to be on their platform, what I would tell everybody is to definitely build relationships with people. Don't, use you don't use anyone to get on their platform, because as we all know, we all can read into that. So you want to be genuine when you're reaching out to people to be on their platform, but you also want to make sure it's reciprocal. I know one thing that I did learn, and I love this about Dr. Porter, when I remember, when I was co-hosting with Tammy, which I still do, but when I was co-hosting with her mostly majority of last year, I remember bringing Dr. Porter on the show, and then later on, she invited me to her show, and she stated, media to media, media to media is what I believe in. We put each other on the show because we all can win. And that's one thing that I've took with me in my journey. When, you want to make sure things are reciprocal, right? So when you're trying to get on somebody's platform, make sure you're building genuine reciprocal relationships. Don't just get on their platform to use them for their network or their platform. You want to be able to bring value to them just like they're bringing value to you, because they're offering you their platform and their network, right? And vice versa. So you want to just make sure that you come with value, and whether you send an email or reaching out over Facebook, you want to introduce yourself and tell them, what is my name is Ashley Little. Tell them a little bit about yourself, and then you want to ask them, what is the process to be a guest on your show? And be okay if they don't respond. That means they might not be interested. Or if they say, they're, full right now, come back later. Be persistent. If you really want to be on the show, come back later. Follow up. Or, if they do decide, then make sure you have your headshot and your bio prepared, because that's what they're going to ask for next. And then also make sure that you're prepared for people to do research on you, because they're going to do research before they put you on their platform. So make sure your social media presence, is a reflection of you, because that can hurt you if it's not. So those are things that you want to do when you want to be a guest on someone's show. But the key thing I would tell anybody is make sure you're genuine, and you're building those reciprocal, genuine relationships, and that you bring something of value when you're reaching out to people, when you're trying to build connections. Make sure that you bring some of value as well. It can't be one-sided. It has to be mutual and reciprocal.
Awesome. I love that. That is great information. So come with value and come prepared. In case if the opportunity do come to fruition, you got to have your bio, you got to have your headshot, you got to be ready, but come with value and making sure that platform is a good fit for you and your brand as well. So, Ashley, growth is intentional. I know that you pour so much into others so that they can be better. But what are some of the things that you do for your own personal and professional growth to keep your cup full? Because sometimes as leaders, we pour so much into other people that sometimes our cups start to deplete. So what do you do to keep yourself on full?
Well, I had to learn to take time out for my self-care. Now, I'm not going to say I've been all self-care all the time, no. But I had to learn that. So what I do now is do better self-care. Like sometimes I'll take, a day just for me, to silence the noise, to really get myself together mentally, right? Because that's so important for us to take time to ourselves. So I had to learn to fit that into my schedule, right? And to make sure that I take time out for myself. Of course, praying, that's definitely number one. That's key. And then I'll go get a massage, or, I'll travel. I like traveling. For me, that's peaceful. So I do things like that to make sure that I take time out for me, right? But I will say, I have not always been the best with self-care, but I've definitely came a long way. And I'm so proud of myself in 2019 with my self-care. It's been great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things. I've had guests on here before, and that's one of those things is like, I don't have it down perfect, but I am working on that because I know that that's important. So that's awesome. So as we get ready to wrap up, I could talk to you for hours, but unfortunately our schedule tonight won't allow us to keep talking and talking. But what's next for you? What's next for you on your journey?
Well, as everybody knows that knows me, I move in silence. But we do have the Girlfriend Code. The Girlfriend Code, the sorority edition coming out in June, so I'm excited about that, excited about all the amazing co-authors that are part of the project, excited about the book tour and book signings that we're going to have coming up, because it's a movement. It's a movement that we're doing. I'm also excited about the HBCU Experience project I'm doing with Dr. Sharon Porter, and you're in that as well, about the movement we're doing with the HBCUs throughout the nation and giving back to our HBCUs and sharing our stories. So those are the two movements that I'm excited about, that I've been working on, and I'm excited about what's to come. And, of course, I know God has a lot of great things that he's going to continue to bless me with throughout this year, so I just can't wait to see what, he reveals to me. But those are the movements that I'm working on right now. They're getting ready to come out, and I'm excited about that, because the biggest thing about those two movements is that we're reaching back and pulling forward in both of them. We're coming to help people with the Girlfriend Code. We're helping, women from, all different, different sororities, and we're talking to them in our book about unity, and how those girlfriend relationships, those positive relationships, has helped us become the people that we are today, right, through our sororities, and how it doesn't matter if you're a Delta, a.k.a. Zeta, Sigma, Gamma, Rho. It does not matter, but you can build relationships with other sorority sisters, right? Because we're all sisters at the end of the day, and we all can still build positive relationships, and that those relationships have helped us in our career, our life, marriages in general. So I'm excited about the blessings that book is going to pour into our new generation and our old generation, basically. And it gives you a positive, more of a great, continue to give you great outlooks on sororities and how we can come together in unity, right, and sisterhood. And then with the movement with the HBCU Experience, I'm so excited about that, because we're giving back, and we're going back to share our stories with the students there that are on the campuses, and also the alumni is coming back together to share our stories of how our HBCU experience has helped us become the people that we are today, and how attending the HBCU has changed our lives, and then giving back to the school as well, giving back and being able to show our students at our colleges that that's what it's about. That's what it's about. That's why you should push through. That's why you should, not give up. This is we've had challenges too. So the difference was we didn't give up. So I'm so excited about both of those movements, okay? So those are the things that I have right now that I can announce. But, of course, I have other things, of course, always roasting. But I'm so excited about those two movements. Yes.
Well, those are phenomenal within itself. I mean, talking about girlfriend relationships and, sororities and sisterhoods, and sometimes sororities, from people on the outside looking in can get a bad rap, and maybe they don't know everything that sororities do, or, the impact it has on the community. But more importantly, just talking about those relationships, there's so many stigmas that say women don't get along and, women can't work together. So I know that project is going to be powerful in shining a light on that, in that those relationships are powerful. And the HBCU project within itself, being a HBCU alum, I can tell you that going to an HBCU, especially at that point in my life, changed my life. And if it wasn't for Kentucky State University, if it was not for Delta Sigma Theta, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today. So I'm very excited about your projects that are coming up.
Yes, and I have to shout the founders out of the Girlfriend Collective, my partners, Dr. Marquita Blaze, Maureen Baker, and Cindy. I have to definitely give them a shout out as well. They're awesome people to work with, and I also would like to give a shout out to Dr. Sharon Porter with this movement of the HBCU experience as well. So that's why I tell people there's so much power in collaborations and connections, because you can't build a movement by yourself. So.
That is absolutely true. Well, I'm thankful for all of you and your insight and your vision to even have projects like this for people to be involved in and to learn more about. So how can our listeners stay connected with you and support you in your efforts, because you shared so many nuggets with us tonight? How can the people follow you and connect with you?
Well, you all can follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Absolutely. And if you have any questions or would like to connect with me, just reach out to me through my inbox.
Awesome. So listeners, Facebook, Instagram, you can reach out to her via her inbox on either of those platforms. So thank you so much, Ashley, for taking the time out of your busy schedule. And, girl, you are busy to give me the opportunity to interview you tonight. It was definitely an honor and a pleasure to have you as a guest. Many blessings and much continued success to you and your journey, and as being one of my media mentors and sorority sisters, I definitely want to thank you, and I appreciate you jumping on tonight.
Well, I would like to say thank you for, like I stated, inviting me to your platform. I'm excited for all the things that God is going to do for you. And we've worked together in so many collaborations already this year. So I can't wait to see what else we have in store, because I know most of the time we don't even know we're on the same project. So it's so funny. But it has been a blessing to be connected to you, Tywauna, and you're doing some amazing things, some amazing things. So super congrats to all your success as well, because you're a 2-time best-selling author and you're knocking it out as well. So super congratulations on everything that you're doing.
Thank you. Together, we are better, and I truly believe that.
Yes, we are. And happy birthday to all the listeners. It's Tywauna's birthday. So happy birthday, and I'm thankful that you invited me to be a guest on your birthday.
I wouldn't have had it any other way. I thank you for being here, celebrating my special day with me. So thank you, listener. Awesome. So thank you, listener audience, for tuning in to tonight's show with my special guest, Miss Ashley Little, where she shared with us that you can't put your destiny in someone else's hand. Remember, no one will work harder for your dream than you do. Get started. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself and in your dreams, and make sure you come with value. It's going to be scary, but do it afraid. There's power in relationships. Remember, though, those relationships have to be genuine. Don't be afraid to share your story. Your destiny is tied to your collaborations. Remember, you need to have good communication. Always remain a student. You need to get coaches and mentors in your life. And also remember that Collaborations are important. So those were the tidbits that Ms. Ashley shared with us tonight. If you are interested in being a guest on this show, starting your own radio show, or even low-cost advertising highlighting your business or events, please email us at dibroadcasting@trendyelitellc.com. Please tune in next week to hear from another amazing leader. And until then, my friends, have a good evening.
Thank you, friends, for tuning in to another episode of Leadership Tidbits with Coach T. Wilson, where Tywauna speaks with leaders who share nuggets of wisdom that you can use in your personal and professional life. Follow her on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Coach T. Wilson. Connect on LinkedIn or visit www.coachtwilson.com. And remember, in life, learn as much as you can, appreciate often, and lead fearlessly.